campers. We're going to chat today a little bit about soulmates. Soulmate relationship, magnetizing your soulmate, knowing that this is your soulmate. Oftentimes, if you watch me, if you watch my readings, if you watch my teachings, my videos, I've done a lot of content about magnetizing your soulmates. I have a couple of programs and offerings that help you to clear your past. And I often say to you guys that on the journey of self-awareness, on the journey of life, if we want to be aligned with a true soulmate, soul to soul, heart to heart, sort of a connection, whether that's a romantical partner or friendships as well, I often say to you guys that you have to really break certain patterns, learn certain lessons, clear out your past, because if you don't do that, all you're going to get is the same lesson in a shape or form of a different partner, right? So it seems like you have to go through a process of purge and cleanse and release and dissolving the cords that link you with your past to be aligned with a soulmate. And sometimes when I say these things, you guys ask me or come to me, whether that's on sessions, in private messages, or in comments. How is it possible then that some people that have no idea about inner work, spirituality, transformation, healing, they are in relationships with their soulmates, or they meet their soulmates when they're very young, right? So why am I forcing you to do all this work and all this healing? And this friend of yours met her soulmate in high school, and they're happy together, and why doesn't it happen? Or maybe you met someone that was in a difficult relationship and challenging relationship, but they didn't necessarily learn all their lessons, but then they met this partner and they're happy together. So today I want to address this, and I want to explain to you why these things happen, so you can really understand the difference between these situations. So first of all, and first thing that we have to address and we have to say is that, unfortunately, the fact that someone thinks that their partner is their true soulmate, it doesn't mean that they truly are their soulmates. I've met many people who spend their whole lives attached to a partner thinking that this is a soulmate, but to a naked eye you can see that this is a karmic partner. And it also comes from what I teach you guys, that we sort of, the word karmic has become pejorative these days, which it's not true. Karmic relationships can be beautiful. It just means that it comes with some sort of a karma, and karma in general is lessons, and it's our past. It's where we come from in this physical world. On the spirit level, the karma doesn't exist. It's what binds us with this physical world, right? So it become pejorative, but karmic relationships can be beautiful. It can be relationships that we grow. Not every karmic is abruptive, is full of turmoil, is abusive. And many people, their whole life they're spent with a karmic partner, and they don't have understanding of soul ties, of spirituality, and they're happy and they think that this is their soulmate, right? So this is one thing, the dormancy, lack of awareness, and sometimes even a little bit of delulu of certain people. So the fact that someone tells you, that's the first thing you need to know, that this is my soulmate, I met my soulmate when I was, right? It doesn't mean that it's actually true. Now, let's address the other two cases. So people who meet their soulmates first, people who meet their soulmates when they're very young, right? So obviously we talk about high school, early 20s, right? Sometimes even before high school, and it's like those high school sweethearts kind of vibes, spend their whole life together, and maybe there actually are soulmates. Let's assume there actually are soulmates. They're happy together, they have a fulfilling, beautiful life. What you have to understand, that as a soul, we go through a variety of lifetimes, and every life we choose a setting for ourselves that will be relevant for our level of consciousness and our level of soul development, right? So the journey that I talked to you about, so releasing the past, releasing karma, releasing, the patterns, and magnetizing your true, beautiful soulmate, your highest level soulmate. This is a journey for people who have level of awareness that it's relevant for them in this lifetime to truly release the past, because their soul reached a level, okay, when the soul knows, okay, there's no shortcuts now. If I'm not freaking going to break all the patterns, all I'm going to get is going to be karmic, because I'm ready for growth. I'm ready for expansion. And sometimes as a soul, through lifetimes, we resist. There's going to be that lifetime that us ourselves, our oversoul, will hit us with experiences. There's no turning away from this. No, there's not going to be any price. There's not going to be any soulmate, sweethearts kind of. No, you have to learn. You have to learn. You have to start learning, right? So for some people, this is just irrelevant. Breaking a pattern in connections, in relationships, true awakening, true spiritual awakening, for certain people on a specific lifetimes, it's irrelevant. And I oftentimes find that people who live a lifetime where they met their soulmate early on in their life, right? It's usually, in my mind, it's usually two cases, right? Either when you look at the journey of souls and you have knowledge about the journey of souls, in those kind of situations, either they are on what we call this rest lifetime, right? Because us as souls, we don't have to push ourselves to constantly learn and grow and expand. And this is also why certain people are old souls. And I always say this to you guys, old souls are those of us who just like bum, lesson, painful. This is why sometimes spiritual people, when they are on a journey of spirituality, they start to say, how does it happen that when I go on this shamanic journey, all that happened to me was atrocities and, burning on a stake and those kind of things. And, I don't want to mention it because I don't even know I'm allowed to talk about these things on social media and use these words. But you know what I mean, atrocities, horrible lifetimes. And why does it happen to all of us? Because we chose this. Because old souls who come to an awakening are souls that wanted these experiences, because we grow through these experiences. We expand our consciousness through these experiences. We dissolve the duality of life through these experiences. So we choose them, and this is why we become those old souls. All souls have the same age. We're eternal, but old in the sense of earth, an experience of earth, right? So not all souls want that. Sometimes some souls say, I want to have one lesson in that lifetime, and I want to learn that lesson in a nice company of a soulmate. So we're going to meet when we're going to be 16 or even younger, and we're going to do this together. And sometimes it also happens that those people that meet their soulmate in early age, it's because they're going to have at one point of their life, whether that's in their 30s, 50s, 60s, whatever, they're going to have a harsh lesson to go through. And they will need that soulmate. They will need a comfort. So let's say someone is going to have to go through an experience when they're going to lose a child, or when they're gonna face a difficult disease, and as a soul they understand that they have to go for this experience, but they say, you know what, I don't want to do it on my own. Come with me, join me, and join me on this journey from the very beginning, so we can build a relationship and we can do this together, right? So it's simply just not relevant. Not everything is relevant for every soul. Not everything is relevant for every path, right? And that other example that I mentioned to you guys is that sometimes people go through difficult experiences, very challenging experiences, sometimes even maybe abusive relationships, and they exit those relationships, and we cannot really say that they've learned their lessons, that they've truly healed, that they've truly processed, right? And here they meet their soulmate. Sometimes I knew even cases of women that were going through a very difficult, painful breakups, divorces, and again, we're going to talk about relationships that are very painful on an emotional level, sometimes even physical level. and without them doing absolutely zero work, they meet this soulmate, right? And again, sometimes it's just simply relevant for them, because their soul, for example, didn't want to go through this horrible experience to necessarily learn tons of lessons and break all the patterns, but maybe they had karma to clear out, right? So their soul thought to themselves, okay, I have this karma that I have to pay with this person, because sometimes we have those strong karmic relationships, even trauma bonds, right? So we're constantly on a loop with this person, right? We cannot seem to find it within ourselves to forgive this person, to let go, right? And I always say this to you guys, if in the moment of you dying and you shedding this physical body, if you haven't forgotten someone who has done you harm, it means that you haven't closed the karmic loop. And rest assured, you will meet this person in a reverse situation in the next lifetime. This is why this loop is created, and karma grows and grows and grows and grows, because we cannot let go. So the karma builds up, and you as a soul, you're like, oh my God, I've hurt you, you've hurt me, we have this loop, we have to close this. So you're gonna have this lifetime, and you're gonna be this horrible partner to me, we're gonna even it out because I've done some things to you in the past, right? We're gonna clear it out, we're gonna even it out. I know as a soul that once I entered this new avatar, I'm not gonna be ready to really let go, to really heal, to really awaken, to really remember, right? But I don't want to end up building more karma. I don't want to end up being bitter. I don't want to end up like repeating this loop. So what can we do with this, right? So they agree, okay, we're going to have this relationship. I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to, maybe there's again physical, mental, some sort of abuse, a very nasty kind of relationship. But then you're going to meet this beautiful soulmate, the soul to soul kind of love that will help you to get through this process, that will help you to believe in love, in the goodness of people, that will be there for you. And that soulmate says, I will be there for you, right? And I will help you, because you don't yet. Remember, when we are not ready, when we're not at certain level of consciousness just yet, right? The only way we can learn is through people and through external experiences, because we are not yet ready to learn the inner alchemy, to learn the lessons internally, right? So we need people, and it's other people that deliver harsh lessons, but it's also other people that makes us believe in good things in this world, right? So if a soul is not ready to fully let go of a karmic baggage, and then on your own, on a journey of solitude, to find the love, the peace, the forgiveness, the wholeness within, there's a plan in place for that soulmate to come in and to show you not all men or not all women are evil, not all people are evil, not all people will cheat on you, not all people will beat you, right? So it's part of your path. It's relevant. And bottom line of what I'm saying to you is to really understand, and I always teach this to you guys, part of a journey of spirituality is to look at your own basket. This is what I have. This is what I was given. This is my guidance, right? It means that this is relevant for me. If I haven't met my soulmate when I was 16 to spend my whole life with this person, it freaking means that it's not relevant for me. And it's not for me to feel why this person has it and I don't have it. It's because I somehow don't need it. This is abundance. We are always abundant with what we need to grow. If I don't have it, it means there's a growth opportunity in it. If I am this person that I broke up with my toxic boyfriend or my toxic girlfriend, and all I come across is the same time of a person, and I cannot seem to find that soulmate, it's because this is the lifetime. This is the lifetime when your soul, your oversoul, says to you, no, there's going to be no soulmate until you freaking let that go. Until you let that baggage go, because you're ready. You're ready to expand your consciousness, to understand certain things, right? And again, we we choose and we circle around and we take decisions every day. And sometimes if we refuse, you may be aligned with someone that will be a good partner. Not going to be a soulmate, it's going to be a good karmic partner. There's always a plan A, B, C, D, E in place. Some people will end up, with no partners. But I always say this to you guys: if you are on this path that it's relevant for you to break karmic patterns, to break certain limiting beliefs, to break certain behavioral patterns, to release fully that karma, it means that you're ready. It's a beautiful lifetime. If you're not going to hit that mark in this lifetime, you're going to give it a try in another. But it means that you grew enough to, as a soul, let go of certain patterns and not give up and not settle and go for the grand prize of highest, most aligned timeline to really achieve what your soul wanted. So there's an answer to everything. If you have these questions, I always welcome them. I love you guys reaching out to me and asking those questions and in sessions as well. And I'm always happy to clarify. But the biggest learning from this is that everything that happens to you is relevant to you. We are all here on different paths and different journeys. We're different souls. We come from different origins. Where we come from is where we're going. And comparing and looking at other people and thinking that they have it better because they didn't do any kind of work and they met their soulmate. It may be that it is not for them in this lifetime to do this work, and maybe they're going to do it in 100 lifetimes. Maybe you one day you're going to be their spirit teacher, right? So have compassion to yourself, to others. Stop comparing. Stop, again, life is not black and white. It's a complex chessboard, and in this human body we don't have capacity to understand it all. That's why it's important to trust and only focus on us, on my journey, what is relevant to me. I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have any questions, you can DM me or you could leave them in the comments. I love you so incredibly much, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.